How you doing, everyone? And welcome to Direct Dreadnought Gundam and More on PS4. And this is a long overdue Direct Dreadnought game and channel update, and we are doing this in the middle of August because why not? I have some exciting news to tell you about what I've done in the game and also some news about how the game is going in general, and I thought that I would also catch up with my subscribers for the year of 2020 and also throw some compliments and some highs out to some of the most well-known players in the game and also some of the players that have stuck with the channel for so long and make the comment section so good. So I don't know if you noticed the screenshots that I've been flashing in front of your eyes, but I've finally done it. It has only taken forever and a day, roughly 3 years for me to fully research every ship in the game. And of course we are showing you the last game I had in the last ship that I had to fully research out of the 15 ship classes offered by the 3 mega corporations in the multiverse of Dreadnought, which is an excellent storyline, by the way. There's some excellent lore in this game. I wish the game was more popular so that this lore could be enjoyed even more by even more people. And I would also one day like to see maybe some campaign gameplay, PvE gameplay, or even some sort of outside or in-game storyline continuance, or even pushing the lore farther out to make the story more complex or even complete the timeline for Dreadnought. But before we get to any of my thoughts on that or what's new in the game or what's new with me, how about a long overdue thank you to the new subscribers that I got messages for. Remember, I've had many subscribers, even though this year with COVID-19 and my busy schedule, it's been really tough to maintain my or even tri-weekly video release schedule that I used to have for the last 2 years in 2019 and 2018. But I do try to get videos out as frequently as possible, and hopefully I will continue to do so, aiming for once a week, maybe more, sometimes a little less if I have things going on. And there are many new subscribers to the channel. The channel has only gotten more subscribers, nevertheless, and I am so thankful for that. And I did not get a notification for all subscribers because it does depend on your privacy settings in YouTube, but I will go over the ones I did get notifications for. So we're going to go all the way back into the Wayback Machine to January 2020 because that was the last time that I actually posted a game and channel update for Dreadnought and the channel, and we're going to dive right in from January. And I'm also not going to include those subscribers that were unsubscribed due to inactivity on YouTube and then were sent notifications and resubscribed to the channel, because that's kind of like double dipping. I really just want to say hi to the new subscribers that we have, and that would be this is going to be a long list: Ryan Young, Al Fialstrom, Philip Lord, Pup Games, Cassin 101, Dennis Nee, Zero Rays 00, Dre Fox 67, Chase the Bat, Baby Blue Gaming, Sam Rockwell, Gonza Lopez, Gabe Bosom, Manuel Magia, One Helden E9, Austin Pagano, Mountain Doomy 1712, Belushu Mihai, sorry for screwing that name up, but it is a tough one, Austin Talent, Jay Harry's 48, Taylor 59, Xavier, Parker Shealy, Jimmy Wayne Richardson, Robert K. Wolf, who's actually been a long-time subscriber but really puts a lot of comments in the comment section. I really appreciate that. And Tariz Masmano, Nietzsche and Carey, Spaghetti Dennis 455, Elusigan Adon, Dante Lawless, Rambo Savage, Uncaged Chicken, oh boy, Scheherazade 100, Meldruine, Kojil the Ham Waffle, Dalen's Videos Will See, and Ompsville Shungite. Well, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Dreadheads, folks, and thanks for docking in Sinley Bay. By the way, if I messed up any of those names, I do want to apologize. I do not have a pronunciation assistant when it comes to reading out some of these names, but I really do appreciate you folks subscribing, and if you want me to correct your name, please drop a comment in the comment section and I will correct it as soon as I can. Also, if I did not get a notification for your subscription and you would like to be recognized, please send me a comment as well and I will throw down in the next update video. Now I just want to give a quick shout out to some of the people that make my channel so interesting to read and to hang out as with a community. And I would like to say a special thanks to Antonio, aka Dr. Bree, Nick Mecca, of course, Robert K. Wolf, Shane Na, and I also want to say a quick thanks to Mr. D-Bart as well. There are so many others that also add their ideas into the comment section, and that's fine, but these are the ones that make our community really pop. As far as the game goes, we have L-Smoke82, Captain Crank, we have Patches, we have Fiery Titan, we have so many great players and so many new ones showing up, and of course we have the Space Apes and many other classics who are returning to the game and giving it another go to breathe one last breath of life into the game, and we really appreciate you there. So the big news for me for this update is I have finally researched every ship in the game. Fully researched, as in I don't need to buy or research any modules for any of the ships in the game. It's all there. So now I have the ability to take any ship in the game, try out any build, and do whatever the player request is. And this also means that I put a lot of time and gameplay into every ship, and not only did I want to do this so that I could be considered someone who has decent advice and can steer you correctly when you're playing Dreadnought, but I also did this for myself, not only as a milestone, but to gain a important lesson for each ship, to get the proper strategies for not just playing a ship, but also how to defend myself against certain ship builds. And as I started playing my favorite ships again after I completed my trek to fully research all the ships in the game, I found that my win streaks, my kill count, and my team play have been most excellent, because now I have a comprehensive understanding of what the capabilities are for each ship, and I highly recommend. There are many players in the game that just play one or two ships and they are the masters of those ships, but I really highly recommend to you that you always fill out your fleet roster. You always have 5 ships in there in the particular game mode that you're playing, either being recruit, veteran, or legendary, and that you always try new ships, new ideas, because this game is so well designed and it's so comprehensive as far as the variety between ships and the strategies that you can employ, and also the strategies you have to counter, that you gain a lot of information and a lot of fun and a lot of really good gameplay when you try to research and play as many ships as possible. In fact, I think that you really shouldn't be trying to play just one ship if you ever make it to legendary mode, but you should probably try to unlock at least 3 to 5 legendary ships before you move into legendary mode. So you should continue to play in veteran with as many ships as possible and unlock as many tier 4 ships as you can before you go into legendary mode. That way, if there's a particular strategy you are using and there's a solid counter on the enemy team to your strategy, to your tactics, or there is just a hole in your team that can't be filled with your favorite ship. Maybe it's time to switch to another one, or try to switch things up as far as your gameplay, so you're not just getting owned over and over again. You have a backup plan and a backup to that backup plan, and even a wild card ship that you can throw in there, and you'd be surprised how much more fun the game is when you switch it up and stop being victimized in a particular ship or ship class or with a particular strategy, because a lot of these strategies are one-trick ponies. So it's always good to bring out other ships, and I think it's a great idea to do that. So please diversify. You also get much more experience. If you just have your one favorite ship in your roster, you're probably going to get roughly 1/4 the experience you normally would if you had 4 more ships in your roster, giving you that experience bonus, that credit bonus, and of course the free experience bonus. That free experience was very key when I was playing a ship that I was kind of sick of playing, and that I was really just tapped out on. Using that free experience to fill out a couple of those modules so I could move on to the next ship was a really great idea. And as you see, even with ships that I thought are lackluster at best, like the Mithras is so much fun to fly. It has such a unique piloting style. It has very interesting characteristics when compared to other ships, particularly other corvettes, but it just doesn't have the guns, it doesn't have the armor, it doesn't have the speed, doesn't have the firepower to really get the kills like the Netron or the Nevis. So you can see in this one that with a little bit of practice, I was able to get really outrageous kill scores, and I really like that. And it was a lot of fun to play all the ships, but I do have my favorites in the game. So we've gone through a lot of news as far as what's going on the last few months. We've had quite a few updates, and if you want to see the specifics on those updates, feel free to look up the latest updates in the update section on my channel page. There's a lot of categories that I organize my previous videos on, and it helps you to find the content that you're looking for so that you can get right down to it. If you just want to see good replays and get a handle on how to play certain ships, I have 3 categories for that. So you can go to my best previous replays, and I try to make it fairly even in each mega corporation category. So I try to have at least one really good replay from each class for the mega corporation. Of course, I do have my favorite ships, and some of them get extra replays, but still, if you want a good feel for how I excel at the game at times, you can watch those. If you like strategy videos, there is the strategy content section, and of course, if you just want to know the updates about the game or want to watch the best players in the game play, you should go to those categories as well. But we've had a lot of balance, and we've had also a lot of market items, and we've had some tweaking with modules and a little bit of new content. At least for us in the PS4 arena, we have had some new content as far as the market ship skins, and of course a new game mode, Series Awakens, which was previously only available on PC. I was thinking of doing a video about how to excel at Series Awakens, but because it is just another game mode, as fun as it is and it can be, it doesn't pop up as much as you'd think. A lot of people still like playing Onslaught, a lot of people still like playing Team Deathmatch, and at the end of the day, Series Awakens is only a upgraded and fun version of Team Deathmatch. And I may do a video on it in the future. It depends if this game mode is being taken down and was only a limited time only, but if the game mode stays in the game, perhaps I'll do a video on it. But really, there are 2 ways to play Series Awakens. And if you are a tactical cruiser, if you are a corvette, or you are a fast destroyer, one way to play the game is to run around and collect as many ship bonuses as possible, and then become a super ship, and like a kamikaze fireball, go out and do as much damage as you can and go out with style. While ships are attempting to collect these bonuses and attempting to become a super ship, the other way to play Series Awakens is to do a heal ball, to do a concentrated wedge of ships. And while there are enemies that are scattered around the map, you want to go to the main body of the enemy that is left, which is probably going to be 4 to 6 ships, and use your numbers advantage without any of the bonuses and sticking by your tactical cruisers and just lay in as much damage and get ahead in points, and then take a more defensive heal ball strategy and wait for those super ships to come in and fend them off. And it's not as hard as you think, because no matter how many bonuses you put on a ship, if you stasis them, if you drain them, if you disrupt them, they are easy pickings if they are not very careful. So it's a very interesting game mode, but at the end of the day, it is still just an upgraded team deathmatch, so I'm not sure that it warrants its own video. The thing that has been getting me disappointed and excited was, at first they decided, the devs, to lower the player count to try and get more pops. This had varying amounts of success, but it also resulted in a lot of games being only 5v5, 6v6, sometimes 7 or 8v8. But now with Series Awakens, they have returned previously to filling all the available slots with bots. Now we always have 8v8 games, and that's great, but there are a lot of bots now. There seem to be at least 2 to 4 bots per team, the max being 4. But because more bots are allowed on the teams, the pop is back down where it needs to be, the match pop, and with all the returning players, there is more of a consistent player base playing. And I've noticed that there's at least 2 sets of games in Legendary going on at the same time, because I can see all my friends, just about anybody that plays the game regularly is on my friends list as far as Dreadnought. And I can see that I'm playing a match and it has between 8 to 14, once in a while 16 players in the 8v8, and the minimum being 4 players per team. And then I'll notice that there are some of the regulars playing when I scroll over to the game title, and notice there are maybe 6 to 8 other players I know on my friends list playing, and they must be playing a second match set on a different map. And then of course after a couple matches, these swing around and I see new faces and old faces that I haven't been playing in the last hour. They pop up, and I think it's been much better for the game. And even if there are more bots, I think hiding amongst bots is a really good way for newer players to survive, especially if you're not sure what's going on, you're relatively new to the game, you're not an NX of the belt yet. If you hang out with bots that are tactical cruisers or dreadnoughts or even artillery cruisers, you'll have a much easier time. These bots aren't always the smartest ones on offense, but on defense they're actually pretty good, and if you can ball up with them, it'll help your survival. I think it's much better than a 5v5, and if you went previously a couple months ago into a 5v5 match and the Space Ape showed up, you were in for a world of hurt because you were going to die a lot. At least with bots, there are more targets to saturate the area. The enemy can't concentrate on you as much. And if you park yourself next to a bot tactical cruiser, that tactical cruiser is going to repair you, and it's going to provide another bullseye for the enemy to shoot at, and that's going to enhance your gameplay experience and also take a lot of the pressure off you. So I think what DN, Space Ghost, and of course Raydog, who's been the major driving force of keeping the game afloat, and much thanks to all of the remaining development team and moderator team that are still out there, and most importantly the support team. Now that we're back to 8v8, I think that's the best direction to go. And it's nice that we have an additional game mode, but improving the gameplay of the existing game modes, I think, is the best thing for us. We still, trust me, there's still a long way to go. I would love to see custom matches come back and maybe even conquest mode. And I think that would be great. And instead of diluting the player base amongst multiple modes, maybe there can be, since most players choose, give me into the quickest match, the first match that pops. When you choose that mode, maybe if there's an alternating system where instead of letting the first player in queue decide what kind of game that people are going to play, that instead it rotates between all the existing game modes. That way we have just about all the players in one game mode, and that's just great, and I think that'll have tremendous benefits for the game. I do have a lot of really good replays coming up, and in fact some of the numbers are pretty crazy, but again I think it's because there are so many bots that when it comes down to it, players are now having a higher kill rate, more points, and doing much better because when they're fighting 2 to 4 bots on the enemy team, they have a much easier time of killing bots than taking down other players. So I'm not sure that some of the awesome videos I have coming up are going to be top 10 material for my different categories, because at the end of the day, blowing up a bunch of bots isn't as impressive as doing well against, let's say, real players or even an organized enemy squad or team or even clan, let's say. But I do have some really good replays coming down the pipe. I would like to release a couple more Gundam videos. I am completely backlogged as far as that goes, but I do want Dreadnought to be the main focus of the channel, and I want to keep it that way, and any other games I play will definitely be secondary to Dreadnought. We do have some strategy videos on the way. I definitely want to complete the Legendary Journey series, especially with the tactical cruisers, and I want to keep you guys informed with any of the new changes to the game, any new updates, any Dreadnought news. I want to be the first one to deliver that to you. But I thought it would be a good time to thank my regular subscribers, thank a lot of the players that I keep seeing in battle very often, and of course to thank the new subscribers to the channel and show my appreciation, as well as brag a little about fully researching all the ships in the game and making sure that I have the correct knowledge base to give you the best advice when you come to me about playing the game of Dreadnought and enjoying it for as long as we can. Well, that's it for me for now, and I'll see you soon in Sinley Bay.